What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. I'm here with Gab and Maui. Say hi, guys.
Yeah, let's go. Around 58 more subs. Let's go, people. 58 more
Yes,
subs.
yes, that is correct. So before we start today's episode, marami tayong pag-uusapan. We'll talk about Sunday's games, the two games we had last Sunday, and then we're bringing back a segment, one of our favorites, the Ballers and Bolero segment. We'll talk more about that later. But before that, and by the way, at the end of this video, we will be doing a giveaway. So you have to stay tuned because we are giving away, Maui, what are we giving away? Two tickets.
Two
Tama
tickets
ba, Maui?
to the
Two tickets.
Ateneo UP game this coming
At
Wednesday. Ateneo
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 Lasal, sorry.
Lasal. Ateneo
Lasal.
Lasal.
Sorry.
Ateneo
Ateneo
Lasal.
Ateneo
Lasal
Lasal. Ateneo
game.
Lasal pa muna. October 22 pa Ateneo UP.
Ah,
Ateneo Lasal
tama. So
this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Two upper box
this
tickets.
Wednesday at 6 p.m. Upper box tickets at MOA. If you want to watch and you don't have tickets yet, stay tuned and listen for the mechanics of the contest or the giveaway later. Uh, we're doing this to sort of like push all our subscribers to promote the page so that we can hit our 1,000 subscriber mark. Okay, so let's start. Lots to unpack. Let's start with Sunday's game. The first game during Sunday, LaSalle versus FEU. I know Gab and Maui, I think you guys weren't able to watch it live, but we're able to watch it on replay. Quick thoughts. How was the game for you? Let's start with you, Gab.
I think it was the best game of the weekend. The LaSalle FEU game. Very entertaining, very fast. A lot of threes going around. Pressure defense from both teams. The problem, I think, with FEU and why they lost that game is that they played at LaSalle's pace. I've said this multiple times. No, LaSalle struggles to slow the game down and execute in the half court. They rely on the first action usually in their offense, and that's the shot yung they're gonna take. So FEU, I think, played into LaSalle's game. Too much so. They were doing the same things LaSalle was doing. First action, uh, tira agad. Ganon. And that's how LaSalle beat them. And again, no, FEU was good in spurts. I think they made a run in the fourth quarter, but they cannot consistently generate enough offense to keep up with LaSalle. Um, I think they stumbled upon something in the fourth quarter when they went exclusively small with Cholo Ananuevo as their center and then four guards around him. That's how they made their run. A lot of shooting, a lot of fast break layups, forcing turnovers. But in the third quarter, in the first half, they also committed a lot of turnovers. They were pretty sloppy with the ball. And Mohamed Fati, as much as he's big, he's not built for that type of fast-paced game. You could see in the first quarter, as in after a couple of plays, he was huffing and puffing already. He could not keep up with the pace that LaSalle and FEU were playing at. It was pretty difficult for him. So that's why I think in the third quarter and in much more so in the fourth quarter, Coach Denok just pulled him and just sat him on the bench and just played exclusively Ona, Ananuevo, and Baguno yung as the centers. They were pretty small, got out rebounded in the offensive glass, but they were able to score a lot of points and they were able to keep up with LaSalle. But that's the thing that you can't try to keep up with LaSalle. That's, I think, the mistake that FEU made. Again, they just tried to outpace LaSalle, and you're not gonna do that. LaSalle's too talented. Uh, but it looked like the same FEU team last year. They're playing almost the same guys. Not much has changed. I think only Ona replaced Sandagon. That's the only change in their rotation. Otherwise, they're playing exactly the same guys. Uh, Sans Sahonia and Sandagon. And just replaced Chuente with Mohamed Fati. On LaSalle's side, pretty impressive. Ako, especially in the fourth quarter, si Kevin Kiambao was making a ton of plays. He struggled with his shot in the first 3 quarters, but just finished off FEU in the final moments of the fourth quarter. The most impressive for me for LaSalle was Mike Phillips. You were talking about this Maui no preseason. Yung face-up game niya, the dribble drive game, and even the outside shot. Nagulat ako. He shot 3 threes in the first quarter. He made 1, but he was confident. And the stroke looked good, even at the free throw line. When he came in 2 seasons ago, or 3 seasons ago, in season 84, he was pretty raw. All he knew was to dunk, lay up, and rebound. Now, he has a confident shot. He's obviously been working on it. So if he can hit that 3 consistently, and you saw it in the second half, no, FEU respected Mike Phillips enough that they would close out now on Mike Phillips. So I was very happy for Mike Phillips. I thought he was the most impressive LaSallian yesterday. I can't wait for him to develop his game more. If he can show more of that off the dribble, face-up game, then pulling up for 3, game over. I think it's game over. He's going to be the best center. Next to Malik Diouf. But, if he develops that game, watch out. Mike Phillips. Maui.
Yeah, sorry, just to add on Mike Phillips, during the preseason, I think in interview siya tinanong siya, what's one thing that you really worked on this preseason? Ang sagot niya, free throws. And I think sa Smart live stream, napansin nung people that were commenting, nag-improve yung form niya on the free throw. I think I just checked now, he shot like 4 of 6. So not bad. I think that's also very important for Big Mike. We know na, I think last year was like 50% or less. So he has a good shot now. So I think on top of like the improved offensive game, working on his free throws will be really good for him. Maui.
Yeah, I think Gab, you're on point regarding sa comment Phillips. Actually, si Phillips, I wanted to highlight also si Mike Phillips. It was really crazy kasi nung start ng game, I think in first 4 minutes, he shot 2 or 3 3-pointers and I was really happy. Even if he made 1 or 2 of those.
Confidently shooting those 3-pointers.
Yeah,
Maui.
he even shot a 3-pointer off a ball screen. So medyo I was super surprised. He was supposed to pass the ball, then he immediately just took the 3-point shot. I think that added weapon with Mike Phillips' motor will do wonders for his career. Gab is right. When Mike Phillips entered the UAAP, was just a mega rebounder, ultra motor guy. And right now, LaSalle is starting to develop him as an outside shooter. And I think yung one thing I also realized when watching yung LaSalle offense today was, aside from the fast-paced run and gun fun gameplay, I think LaSalle is the most probably gonna be the most entertaining team. Probably next with UP because they have tall athletic wings. One of the things I realized is that yung confidence ng LaSalle players is off the charts. This is something we didn't see when Coach Manong Derek was handling the team. He's a coach that's more disciplined. I think yung game plan niya is very specific for each player per role. But with Topex Robinson, it's crazy. The big men are all creating off the dribble. Si Kiambao, si Mike Phillips, and even si Ben Phillips had a few layups that he created on his own. Something that you didn't see a lot if you watch LaSalle the previous season. And I think this will do wonders in terms of the career of the players and yung program talaga ng LaSalle. If you see players really developing their game, then definitely LaSalle will be a hot destination again for prospects. Similar to how we called out Coach Jeff Napa's system in Letran. I think Coach Topex is in the right direction in terms of like showing his prowess this early. But yeah, FEU played a good game. But I think unfortunately they just had that run too late. they dug themselves into a 20-point deficit until the third quarter. But unfortunately, they weren't able to get to trim down the lead. But I think there were a few breakout players to watch out for sa FEU. Specifically, I think si Patrick Sleet really showed this improved game and strength from a playmaking perspective. I think he has a bright future. If he can convert himself into a point guard, he can probably play in the national team, standing at 6'2" and he's long. Another player that we've been hyping up is Cholo Nuevo. He had a very thunderous dunk of a steal during the late part of the game. But
I think
but
they were making a run nung time na yun,
yeah,
di ba?
they were making a run, and obviously
Small ball.
it's always FEU. They have the same players, so it really depends upon Cyrus Torres, their main gunner. If he has a good game, much like he had against LaSalle, then they can definitely go against most of the teams in the UAAP. One person that didn't have a good game was si LJ Gonzalez on the offensive side. I think he shot 3 for 15, but some of his shots were makeable shots. I think he will probably have better games on the offensive side. But he did rebound the ball and did a lot of playmaking, so that was a plus. We saw a lot of classic FEU lineups nung game, dual point guard lineups. I think si Coach Denok, much like the Racelas, love to run a lot of point guards with each other.
Tatlo nga nung fourth quarter eh.
Tatlo pa when they were making their run during the fourth quarter. Another welcome sight, another note, si Arwin Santos was behind the bench. I think this is a good sign for FEU when anytime a big time alumni of the school visits and watches the games. Si Polly was also present for UE, but it was great because apparently si Polly pala is working as an assistant coach behind the scenes sa UE also. So this is very good, especially for the young. And one thing I want to note also is nung pinapanood ko yung LaSalle game, di ko mahanap si Mike Phillips. Kala ko si Isaiah Phillips yung naglalaro kasi ang payat. Nagulat ako na
Kasi may buhok na siya.
Yeah, all the LaSalle players are really
Hello?
I think we lost Maui.
Sorry about that. I think we were having technical difficulties. Anyway, go ahead, Maui. You were saying?
Yeah, I was saying LaSalle players look ripped. If you saw yung preseason video ni Kevin Kiambao running on the treadmill, it's legit. All of them look thin. Mike Phillips looks fly and ready to really extend his motor.
They have to because they're playing so fast.
Yeah. And I think yung si Jet Manuel or the one covering the game mentioned they have a personal chef for the LaSalle players just to look at their nutrition, make sure they're eating the right thing. And I think this is the right direction definitely for LaSalle. If you're playing this type of offense, this type of game, this fast-paced game, LaSalle is really in the right direction. And maybe this is the thing that really brings them back to the Final Four after that very disappointing year last year. I think those are most of my thoughts for the LaSalle and FEU game. It was very entertaining. I think both of these teams will compete this season.
Yeah. Just to add, siguro before we move on to the next game, Maui, you mentioned it. I think si LJ Gonzalez did not have a good game. He didn't shoot well, but I would also credit that to Rust. We didn't see him the whole preseason. So
he was injured.
He was injured. He's just coming back. So I don't think we've seen the best of LJ yet. Hopefully he gets back into his groove soon. Na-mention nyo Pat Sleet and Cholo Nuevo, Maui, Cyrus Torres. These are the guys that you already hyped up or mentioned nung preseason. So you called it. Gab, I think you also mentioned na they played small ball. Mo Fati was played off the court. The LaSalle team was too fast. I looked at Mo Fatty's stats. He played only 12 minutes. Had 4 rebounds. Mas marami pa siyang fouls. He had 5 fouls and 4 rebounds. He just couldn't keep up with the guard. LaSalle driving.
People were
Yeah.
shooting before he could go down the court. So he wasn't there to grab any rebounds.
Any rebound.
This is
Yun
not-
yung napansin ko din.
Welcome
Hindi
to
siya
the
makakahabol.
UAAP, Mo Fatty.
So I think it's sort of the same problems they had last season, di ba, Gab? They really didn't have a strong rebounding FSA than last season. And well, so far Mo Fatty got played off the court. So sino ang magiging big nila? So I would say like they were really forced to play small ball because wala silang choice. Mo Fatty was played off the court. The only other legit big they had was like Miguel Ona. And I think you can't really rely on Miguel Ona for like any offense that much. So I think they need to look elsewhere for like small ball minutes. I'm sort of disappointed with James Tempra's play nung kahapon. I think if they want to play small ball, James Tempra needs to step up also. He's like another 6'4", 6'5" wing. So I think moving forward, they really need him. I actually really like the small ball of FEU. Sabi mo nga, Gab, they played 3 guards and they actually made a decent run during that time.
4 guards actually.
If you
Three-point
count
guards.
Año Nuevo, no?
No, they played Bautista, Gonzalez, Torres, and Sleet along with Ano Nuevo in the fourth quarter.
And yeah.
Those are 4 guards.
That's true.
Then Chora Nuevo
Actually, si
center.
Año Nuevo minsan gumagwardiya din di ba?
Oh,
So,
diba?
yeah, pretty much I think you mentioned everything. I do want to mention LaSalle played well. Pero the only siguro bad thing that happened yesterday was Mark Nonoy. He got injured after like 8 minutes, sprained his ankle. He was playing well. He was actually the leading scorer before he got injured. Shot 2 threes and like a layup, I think, or something. But hoping it's nothing serious. It doesn't look serious naman. He was able to walk off the floor. But we have our first casualty of the season for LaSalle. Remember, we were talking about LaSalle's health last season. Hopefully, that's it for LaSalle.
Actually, they mentioned on air kanina, only Bright Nwankwo was able to play all the games from their whole lineup from last season. So,
talaga?
Yeah, I think health is wealth for LaSalle this season. It's not good that it's their first game and one of their key guys, Mark Nonoy, injured his ankle.
I do want to give a shout out to Joaquin Manuel. I think he played a good game. He had a lot of excellent defensive possessions. He did not force it. Well, he forced it once. He tried to go one-on-one once off the dribble and
may maganda siyang
ended up in a
pasa.
turnover. Yep.
May maganda siyang pasa, may cut, tapos binounce.
But I think he finished the game. He was there, crunch time. When FEU was making us run, Joaquin Manuel was there on the court for Topex. I think he has the confidence of Topex Robinson. When he does his role and when he doesn't, overstep the boundaries of his role, I think he can be a pretty good player. My surprise player runner-up for this season. Watch that episode, yung our awards prediction. Joaquin Manuel surprising us. Surprising me. I thought he played really well.
Okay, another shout out for Joaquin Manuel from Gab. Ibang klase na talaga tong Gab. Let's move on to the next game. Final game of the weekend. UP versus Adamson. There were rumblings na baka maglaro si Jerome Lastimosa, but that didn't happen.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, actually. That's crazy. Di naman siya naglaro.
He was in the bench in warmers. So
in warmers, in warm-ups. So UP beating Adamson, Maui. Let's go with you first. Initial reactions.
UP is scary. I think yun yung initial reaction ko. The starting lineup was different. Si Terculas started, si Abadiano also started. But UP is scary. Malik Diouf, you wouldn't even imagine. You wouldn't even feel that he was leading UP in points and rebounds. He had 20 points, 17 rebounds, and I think 4 blocks. And di mo man lang naramdaman. I think,
Quiet 20 points.
yeah, quiet 20
ano,
points, 17
stat.
rebounds. Even si Jet
Which
Manuel
is
was
why it's
saying,
wrong to bet against him for MVP. He's
Oo
just
nga,
gonna
Maui.
rack up everything.
Gusto mo na bawiin.
well, it's still early. The game was tight for a bit. But yeah, Malik Diouf had 20 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 blocks. If Ateneo had a Ange Kwame cheat code, UP has that Malik Diouf cheat code this season. It's crazy. I think one of the welcome sights also is si CJ Cancino played a really great game. He broke the game wide open nung third quarter. He hit
Out of his
three-pointers.
mind.
Yeah, CJ Cancino is finally healthy. I think this guy deserves it. This is his second ACL injury, I think. But yeah, it's a welcome sight to see him finally healthy. UP looks scary. Si Lebron Lopez didn't score a lot. I think he had 5 points, but he had double-digit rebounds, a couple of steals and blocks, and that dunk was crazy. He just introduced himself into the UAAP in his like second possession. Kahit yung first possession off the rebound and then all the way. I think it's warranted that probably LeBron Lopez is the top rookie of the year candidate. As you guys mentioned, as Gab mentioned, UP is just crazy. It's amazing for me. We say that Ateneo has 9 new rookies. UP had 7, and they played fantastically kanina, the other day. But yeah, I think that's about it for UP. But for Adamson, one of our commenters mentioned nung preseason si Montebon. I was really impressed with how he played. He gives me glimpses of the Paranada brothers. Apparently, sa Phil-Am also, he plays
Itsura
like that.
din no?
Yeah, yung itsura din ni Montebon. He's a very confident guy. He's not playing like a rookie. Si Manzano really played a good game considering he was against Malik Diouf. Their new FSA was posterized by Malik Diouf. So, they really miss Lenda Duwanga for sure. I think this team can hang with the best of them. UP is just too good. But maybe tama nga yung comments from the preseason rankings. If they just had Manlapas, probably they'd still probably fight for the Final Four. But I think not having Jerome Lastimosa is still a big loss for Adamson. But yeah, they looked outmatched nung second half, but they were able to hang around nung first half. CJ Cancino lighting it up from the outside didn't do them good. But yeah, I think Adamson still has a chance this season, especially if Jerome comes back and plays well. They have players that have really improved their game. Si Sabandal had a good run when they were rallying nung fourth quarter. Si Joshua Yero will have to step up more. Yeah, si Hanapi is a very good shooter, like his stroke. He hit a lot of threes. But I think si Joshua Yero will have to step up more, and sa Bandal will have to score more if they want to compete with the other teams. Yeah.
Gab. Reactions?
Malik Diouf for MVP, brother. Malik Diouf for MVP. There's just no way anyone is gonna come close to him. It may seem like monstrous numbers, but it looks so easy to him. The 20 points, 17
lang
rebounds.
siya, no? Yun yung,
I know.
That's what I love about him. Like, he's just like laughing, like, pag na-foul siya or whenever he scores. Tatawa lang siya eh. It's so effortless for him.
And kudos also to the guards, especially JD Kagulangan. Always looking for Malik Diouf on the roll. I mean, you can see the chemistry between those two. Just impeccable chemistry. They know where each other, the positions, the angles that they have to be in to get to that spot, to get Malik Diouf into the rim, near the rim. They know each other pretty well. I love that two-man game between JD and Malik. Otherwise, for UP, their signature, it gets overshadowed a lot, no, since they have a lot of highlight plays, they have a lot of very talented players. But the defensive discipline is what impressed me the most for UP. It always has. They play into your face, they play physical. They get called for a lot of fouls because they play physical. But the way they fly around the court, their rotations, the way they close out on the shooters, amazing. Whoever is a defensive coordinator there in UP has to get a raise. For the past 3 seasons, he's been coming up with such effective defensive schemes, and the discipline to close out and not to bite on shot fakes. You can see that they practice that. That's a very underrated skill, no? Closing out is very hard in basketball. To know when to stay planted to the ground and slide your feet. That's a very underrated skill. And UP just Adamson ran their plays. They ran their plays. They moved the ball around, but UP just rotated so well. Their defense just so good. And when you have Malik Diouf manning the middle, it gets easier to take gambles on the perimeter or to guard or to guard in your face defense, because you know there's someone behind you who's gonna clean up your mess. That's the same thing you see in the. What?
Sorry, Gab. I wanted to add that it also doesn't help that they have tall wings, tall, lengthy, athletic wings like Francis Lopez and the others.
Yep. That's so true. But yeah, I was impressed with UP's defense. It wasn't that Adamson didn't have good shots. More of all of their shots were contested. It was hard for Adamson to get any open shot at all. Talagang taghirap yung offense nila. UP was struggling a bit in the first half for making their shots, and they had some sloppy turnovers as well. But when their shots started to fall in, and together with that awesome defense, I was really impressed like sa defense nila. It's gonna be hard to stop them. And yun nga, Malik Diouf, man. Just cheat code, ibang klase. Defensively, offensively, just ends, amazing. He's both ends, just destroying Adamson. And for Adamson's side, hard to get some positives, but yeah, si Montebon, some of our Adamson subscribers did mention him. Gaya nga sabi ni Maui, he's not shy. He will take shots. I like the way he ran the pick and roll. So I do think he has good instincts in playmaking. If Jerome comes back, I think he'll have help in Montebon. Yung end sa bandal.
Yung maganda.
But otherwise, hirap eh. I thought they should have ran more Cedric Manzano post-ups. I mean, they were getting good shots out of that action, but I think he got injured. I don't know. I think
nagka-cut siya in his eye. Accidental headbutt with Kagulangan, of course.
Yeah.
Sino pa ba?
No. But it was unintentional. It was really accidental cut to both of them. Both of them had to exit games from time to time because of the cut.
All right. So, yeah, yun. Hirap pa ang Adamson, and UP just played really well. Nothing else to say. Sam?
Yeah, pretty much covered it. Maui, you summed it. Sabi mo, UP is scary. Like, this team is really, really scary. It didn't look like they had a hard time against Adamson, but JD scored 5 points. Francis Lopez scored 5 points. A lot of like the athletic wings that we were hyping up during the preseason, Torculas, Belmonte, even Luis Pablo, they didn't really do that much yet. Not sure if si
Don't spoil our Boleros later, Sam.
Wait lang. So, no, what I'm saying is this team is so deep na, you could have like 2 or 3 players that do well, the rest of your stars, okay lang kahit hindi, and tatambahan mo pa rin yung other team. Like, you really don't know where you're going to get your points from UP. Like they
Yeah.
have so many options.
Yeah, I think some similar sila sa Ateneo team that really swept the league. Every game there was a different guy who was a player of the game. That can happen with UP, or maybe Malik Diouf is the player of the game for all the games, but
For
it
all
can
the games.
happen. Si Cancino scored a lot of points. I think every one of them is capable of that. But I just like to mention also si Jet Manuel said kanina, it's really about Malik Diouf being their glue guy, the one that sticks everyone together on both ends of the floor. Uh, he was actually the guy that mentioned that he doesn't even feel like Malik Diouf had a big game, but he did. So yeah, I think, but I think similar to the Ateneo team that swept the season, this team can have different player of the games. Then probably Diouf would just dominate come playoff time, similar to how Ravenna did it before.
Yeah. So that's how scary UP is. For Adamson, on the Adamson side, I think Baby Boy, sayang lang talaga na injure siya, nagka-accidental headbutt. But I think nung first half pa lang, ang init na ni Baby Boy. He was posting up the lanky boys of UP
May
sina
corner 3 pa. Si Baby
Oo,
Boy.
tama.
Manzano, may
Sina
corner 3 na yan.
Terpulas, saka sina Belmonte ata pinopost up niya. So, happy to see si Baby Boy improving or dominating. I think one player that I expect to do better in the next few games is Vince Magbuhos. He had like a crazy game last season, hitting like a couple of threes. I think he only scored like single digits this game, or like 5 points or less. So I'm expecting him to do better and to carry part of the load, that's the void that's been left by Jerome Lastimosa, as one of the leaders then and vets. So, to be fair to Adamson, I think they put up a decent fight or a good fight. Really wasn't expecting them to win. So I think, everyone expected UP to win. Okay. So Gab, you're talking about it. Let's move on. So that's a recap. Let's move on to Ballers versus Boleros of the weekend. Okay, not of the week kasi we only had like 2 games during the weekend. 4 games during the weekend. So Ballers and Boleros of the week. Let's start with the Boleros. Para we end naman on a good note. Gab, sino ang
Alam niya na siya
bolero
sabihin.
mo? Sino ang first bolero mo of the week?
My bolero has to be 7 Kagate. It has to be 7 Kagate.
We didn't see him play.
There was no news of any injury or any disciplinary action, so I don't know why he didn't play. But this was the storyline or question that we both, I think Maui and I talked about in our question or storyline to watch for each team. So watch that episode if you haven't watched it. So for UP, for my question, my question was who gets left out, and so far after one game, not to overreact, but 7 Gagate looks like the odd man out here for UP. He's the fourth center. UP lined up exactly how I predicted it, how I predicted they would line up, with Juf and Alter manning the center spot. And at power forward, it's going to be Francis Lopez, backed up by Torculas and Belmonte. And then Luis Pablo, third string center. I think he played like 5 minutes. Then 7 Gagate is just the fourth string center. So he got no minutes at all. And that's, for me, pretty discouraging for a guy who was pretty much a well-touted recruit out of LaSalle Green Hills. Played in the Gilas youth teams. Has a ton of potential, but, you're not going to get any minutes in this lineup. I won't think. I mean, if they get blow-ups, they're probably gonna play Luis Pablo more or Alter more. I mentioned in the off season that the only way for Gagate to get minutes is if Luis Pablo will transition to a power forward. But so far it looks like their coach Gold is still playing Luis Pablo as a center. So there are no minutes available for Seven Agate. And it's not gonna get better even in season 87. Because, yung the news, Gani Stevens is coming to UP. Kingsley Ododo from Guangming College is also coming to UP. They both play center. Presumably, they're both gonna play ahead of Seven Gagate. There's Alter still gonna be there next season. Luis Pablo, assuming he stays, will still be there next season. So when is Seven Gagate gonna play? His third season? His fourth season? In the UAAP? I don't see it. If I were Seven, I'd be looking elsewhere right now. There is no way he's getting minutes until maybe when he's a junior or a senior already. Sorry, he's a Bolero. He's my Bolero talaga. I don't see a path for him to get any playing time.
Grabe ka naman, Gab.
See you in UST.
Sobra naman.
See you
Uy,
7
actually,
in UST. No big man.
That would be a pretty good decision. Maui.
Yeah.
Maui,
I
sino ang
have
bolero
to
mo?
call it, yung Boleros of the week ko has to be Kai Balungay. We were so hyped to the point that we called him one of my MVP contenders for this season. He had a horrible debut in his sophomore year during the weekend. I think he has to do better. Shooting 3-pointers is not the way to go. I think he has to really focus on the inside during the start of the games, and just, if you saw him during the game, you saw that he was visibly frustrated in the second half of the games, and it showed. I think he didn't have a basket the whole game. He had 4 points. For Ateneo to even compete this season, he has to score at least 15 points. That's one of the things that I need to see from him. Both him and Amos have to combine to score at least 25 points for Ateneo to compete, I think, this season. Hopefully he plays better against LaSalle. He did well nung Kadayawan Cup against LaSalle, and I'm very optimistic that he can turn this around. But this is not good for Ateneo. We preach consistency for Kai Balungay, and he starts the season with a blunder. So he's my Bolero of the week.
Okay, Maui picking Kai Balungay as his Bolero of the week. Si Maui, whether positive or negative, nagsistick talaga sa Ateneo. Kay Balungay, MVP.
Baka Baller of the week ko, Ateneo, kahit
Next
tinambangan, di
next
naman.
week, so Kai Balungay, Bolero of the weekend, to be clear. Bolero of the weekend.
But yeah.
Because of that bad game. Okay, my Bolero, I think, very easy. Not gonna overthink this. My Bolero has to be us, the Boleros, for absolutely failing to make the correct prediction. Sobrang maling-mali yung prediction natin, especially nung Saturday.
First 2 games. But the second day, we got it right.
Although si Gab,
except me.
Except me. FEU siya, nag-FEU siya. But
someone had to swerve.
Syempre. Tama naman, Gab. But Saturday talaga, that was like the worst prediction for us. Which is, I think we talked about this. It's a good thing because it just goes to show season 86 is unpredictable.
It's why we love the UAAP.
That's why we love the UAAP.
Season 85, it was really crazy.
UE seems to be a decent contender. Another dark horse team. NU is out there to prove that hindi na sila dark horse.
For now, ang UE.
For now, yes.
For now, just imagine us saying this when UST went 1-0 during the opener last year.
Correct. So
only to rack up 13 straight losses.
I'm up for it. I'm excited. I'm excited with the unpredictability. But we have to be Boleros for that. Yun lang. Let's move on to our ballers. Let's start naman with Maui and then ako, and then let's end with Gab. Maui, sino ang baller of the week mo?
Yeah, I think baller of the week ko has to be Ray Remogat. Both of you guys I've been on the Ray Remoga train. I am now also on the Ray Remogo train. Ray
Let's
Remoga really
go!
showcased
Yeah!
yeah. Ray Remoga really showed us his bag nung weekend. He scored 20 points. He had 11 assists. I think yung more impressive one is yung 11 assists. We know Remogat can score. He scored in limited minutes when given the opportunity during the previous season. But those passes were crazy nung weekend. He is a walking highlight machine. He probably has to contend as one of the top point guards this season. I think si
Mythical 5.
Evan Nelly has that. Evan Nelly is the tier A point guard this season, but he has to be in contention. I hope that UE continues to win with Remogat leading the show, but definitely he's my baller of the week. He's the real deal.
Japan
Boy.
B-League is calling, baby. Japan
Remogo.
B-League.
Why not?
Saka
Why not?
walk into UE. It's crazy. This
Crazy.
Remogat's story is crazy.
Crazy.
What a legend. What a legend, this guy.
And grabe yung confidence, no? Grabe yung confidence niya na knowing na I'm the guy. I'm the guy for UE. Coming from like what? He played 2 games last season. And now, alam niya, he's the guy. That's what I appreciate about Remogot then. Like, that's just the confidence.
He hit
in
the
way he
step
plays.
back 3-pointer in the third quarter and then shook his head
I think even-
saying, they
I
can
think
guard
even-
me.
He did it again.
I think even the
He did
first
it twice.
at the
He did it
start of
twice.
the game. Yun
Yeah.
yung first shot niya, di ba?
Parang
At the
James
start of the
Harden na
game.
step back 3. It's crazy. But yeah,
Crazy.
Love this guy.
I love
this
Remogat.
guy.
He's a minion. In Miko Halili's words, he's a minion. So he's somebody that I will root for definitely.
Okay, first
Sammy.
baller of the weekend, the Remo Goat. My baller, I'll go next. My baller for the weekend has to be surprise players. Surprise players meaning players that we didn't really shout out or maybe mention, but really performed well during the weekend. Guys like Abdul Sawat, we know he's been there in the past. He's like team captain, but he wasn't really like a thought of as a scorer. He's more like an energy guy coming off the bench last season. Other guys, I think Gab's NU game you mentioned, si Padrones. Padrones did well. We were expecting Palasielo, but we were surprised. Oh, Padrones was actually also good. LaSalle, we are talking about Joshua David. But one of the guys that did well, especially during the first half,
Escandor.
I think was Escandor,
Yeah,
which
off
we
cuts.
didn't really talk much about. And then UPNU, I think si Montebon. Adamson, UP Adamson game, Montebon. Our listeners mentioned he's a guy that we should watch out for. Again, we didn't really talk about him, but he introduced himself to us. So again, for me, it's the unpredictability of the UAAP that I'm sort of like going for here. Surprise players that you don't expect to do well in a game, but I love it. So shout out to those guys, ballers of the weekend for me. Gab, let's end it. Who's your or what team is your baller for the week?
My baller of the week, we just discussed them in our previous segment, has to be UP. They are by and far the favorites. UP fans, don't argue that you're the underdog. There is no way you're the underdog. You are the favorites.
Malik
yung
Malik Diouf.
Yep, and you showed it yesterday in that game. I think they played a spectacular game, especially on the defensive. I was so impressed with how they played defense. There was a hand contesting every Adamson shot. Lahat ng mga tres ng Adamson na pumapasok, though those were contested. They were just really tough shots. The offense did better, but everything was contested. Again, I mentioned the rotations. They looked every bit the favorites. They look every bit the number one team in this coming season. I think that the title is theirs to lose. I really think that this team is just too talented, and not just that, they play on a string. They play on a string. Their coach Gold has got them playing together, and that's the great part of it. No, despite them having so many talented players, they're playing together. They're playing for each other, except for Seven Gagate. But yeah,
Hater.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying he's not gonna be able to play. But
See you on the other side,
UP.
Seven.
Yep. See you when you're doing residency in season 87, 70 but yeah, I can't say enough about how UP played yesterday. Really impressive. So good, so good. Especially Malik Diouf. Ako talaga, grabe. There's no one, I think, who can stand toe-to-toe with Malik Diouf this season. No one.
Omar John.
No one. As in, absolute no one. No.
Omar John, Gab.
Unless Omar John grows leaps and bounds in his game, there is no way he's gonna. Malik Diouf has had Omar John's number since 2022, March of 2022. He's had wala. No one can match up to Malik Diouf.
Wala,
Those are my ballers of the
ibang
week.
tier talaga. Ibang tier si Malik Diouf. Above everyone. Omar John, I think, is a good second FSA, but ibang level si Malik Diouf. Yeah, so that's it for our ballers and boleros of the weekend. Looking forward to the games on Wednesday and this coming weekend. Before we end the show, we're almost hitting like an hour. I just want to talk about our simple giveaway. Again, we're giving away 2 tickets, upper box tickets sa Ateneo LaSalle game at MOA this Wednesday. So, to join and get a chance to win the 2 tickets, we're giving it to one winner lang, but we're giving them 2 tickets.
Magkatabi
If
naman.
you want to,
Dalawang tickets.
magkatabi. Si Maui bumili, by the way, guys.
Magkatabi.
Ayan na. Uy, huwag mo pakita yung QR code. Ay, may pwede ba yun?
Hindi naman.
Para manalo or para sumali pala to qualify, all you have to do is share a link to this video or to our page, whatever you want to share, this video or the Boleros page on any of your social media pages, and share it with your friends. Invite friends to watch the video. And then, once you share that, send us a link to the post in the comment section below. Or, if you want to send it privately, you can email it to us. So, I will be leaving complete details, including our email, in the description box below. So, for more details, just read the promo mechanics in the description box below. And then, all you have to do is submit it by 6 p.m. Tuesday, 6 p.m. So, Monday night ngayon, tomorrow night, October 3, 6 p.m., we'll tally and then we'll do a randomizer to determine the winner. Then we will comment or reply to your email if you've won, and then let's just coordinate how you get your tickets. Okay? So please support the page, share the page. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Help us out. And in the process, win 2 free tickets to the Ateneo LaSalle game. Not looking forward to Ateneo getting beaten by LaSalle, but lalaban yan.
Excuse
lalaban
me?
yan. Hindi pwedeng,
Excuse
hindi
me?
pwedeng hindi lumaban. On paper,
Sa Kadayawan
mas
naman,
favorite ang
pumalag.
LaSalle.
We will see.
Pero, tama. Sa Kadayawan naman, pumalag. Bounce back game from Kai Balungay. Let's do it. So that's it for today's episode. Let us know your thoughts. Ano reactions nyo nung games nung Sundays? And sino ang baller and bolero nyo of the weekend? Don't forget, like, comment, and share. See you again next time. Bye-bye.